July marks the 2-year anniversary of deciding to ride horses, and that decision came about from a lifetime of kind of wanting to, but not being in the right circumstances to do it. And coming from an endurance background, I really wanted to do endurance riding, and I really knew that to get to that level was going to take a lot of dedication and a lot of time doing it. And so when we started taking lessons once a week, I knew right then it was never going to work out, or it wasn't going to be fast enough. And to get to the kind of riding level that I wanted to be, and so I started doing an extra lesson a week, and then started looking into leasing a horse. And none of that was quite, because I was so new, none of that was, the horse world wasn't being that helpful. So I took a different tact and decided against all reason to go out and buy my own horse. And of course I wanted an Arabian, because an Arabian has the endurance genes built in. The idea was never to buy a 3-year-old in 3 months. The idea was to buy a good Arabian horse. But as I started really looking, I just wasn't finding that horse. And two things had to happen. Number one, I changed barns and found a trainer that I felt I could trust. And in that same week, I went down to Mesa, Arizona, and found this guy right here. This one, not the other one sitting here. And he, at the time, coming up on our 2-year anniversary, is October 15th, when he came to Temecula, and I was my new trainer. They handed it to Chloe. Chloe handed it to me, and I walked him to his paddock. And I just watched that video the other day, and I am terrified, absolutely terrified, walking him over. I'm tall, I'm standing taller, I'm stiffer, and I'm just trying to fake it until I can get to his paddock. It was a monumental day in our 2-year journey. When I was searching for a horse 2 years ago, the first horse I looked at was a horse named Psych. And this horse was an 8-year-old, or I think actually an 11-year-old Arabian, and he was beautiful, really good looking. I met the broker. He was actually at the barn I was at the time, but he was at the lower barn on the western side. And so I met the broker, and we talked to the trainer. I told him candidly what my experience was, and they said okay. I said I wanted to ride the horse. That was one of my prerequisites. If they were afraid for me to ride the horse, I wasn't going to buy the horse. They agreed. We were set for that Friday. I got there a little early. I saw the trainer. I said, hey, is Psych ready to go? And he said, you don't want to buy that horse. That horse is ready for a pasture. So I said, okay, well, that's a red flag. And so that horse was out. Pretty soon, a couple of months had gone by, 2.5 months, and I was really, really discouraged by the whole thing. And then I got a note back from Nicole, who I was corresponding with on Flash, and she said, I'm sorry, I think I missed an email. We haven't talked in a while. Are you still interested in seeing Flash? And I said, yeah, for sure. I knew Flash was 3 also, but I just thought, well, let's just take a road trip to Mesa, Arizona, and let's go see Flash. And so that was the start of our road trip to Mesa and seeing another baby horse. So we arrived at the stable, and I met Savannah, the trainer. I met the caretaker as well of the property, and we went and got Flash out. And Flash was beautiful Arabian, 3 years old, and we brought him into the lunging arena, and I'd barely lunged a horse at that point. I did 2 different lunges of a horse at the barn I was at, but I didn't have any idea what I was doing. And Savannah quickly jumped in and said, "Why don't we just free lunge him, and then we'll put him through some paces that way." And she was great. And Nicole had been really good, the caretaker there as well. She was awesome. And it's funny because in the horse world, that hadn't been really my experience. Like, they hadn't been overly warm, and you would have thought like newcomers would be especially welcome to bring new people into whatever discipline of horse riding you do, but I hadn't found that up to that point. But Savannah was super nice. We spent about an hour with Flash. Flash seemed to have a really great demeanor, good head on his shoulder, really seemed smart. And we arranged for me to ride the next day. We needed a bigger saddle. Savannah is much smaller than me, so she was going to bring a saddle the next day. We left that day, and I was feeling pretty excited. Amy said to me, "So we're going to end up with a horse, aren't we?" I said, "I don't know. We'll see tomorrow." And so I drove out by myself this time to ride in the morning, and we got him tacked up. We got him ready to go. I jumped on. We did some walking around a round pen, then some trotting, moving around, really feeling him out. Then all of a sudden, in the barn that wasn't very far away, his half brother had pushed past the caretaker and just pushed past her, and was throwing a huge fit in the barn and about to really get out. And Savannah had to leave the ring to go find out what was going on with the half brother. And I was left in the ring with Flash, and I just said, "Holy moly." Then I just thought, well, just calm down. He's been great, and he doesn't seem to be making any big deal out of it, so let's just put him to work. So I went back into trotting. We trotted some circles. We walked some more circles. We went right. We went left. And when Savannah came back, I knew right then this was going to be my horse. And he had the demeanor I wanted. He had the calmness that I wanted, and he was only 3 years old. So I thought, this is my guy. Now, the next story is, how did Flash, and this is Flash right here, how did Flash become Nashja Yaji, or Nasha? And that's in part, the next part.